So this senior executive service is comprised of the men and women charged with leading continued transformation of the government. Why does our government need to continually transform? That's odd. What a strange thing to say. As the leaders of our federal civilian workforce, senior executives strive each day to create a more citizen-centered, results-oriented federal government. That sounds a lot like a communist manifesto to me. The SES is governed by one distinct personnel system. Oh, it's centralized. In which the same executive qualifications are required for all members. You must be a communist.
That's right. You got to have
Applicants.
card-carrying communist to sit on that board.
You think I'm kidding? Go look at some of these SES people.
Yeah.
Applicants to SES positions must demonstrate they possess executive core qualifications. I know one SES, and I know that he is not a card-carrying communist because I've known the dude since he was in his late 20s. I served with him
Okay.
when he was still in the Army as a staff sergeant. He was a rocket climber. We called him Boy Wonder. This
All
guy
right.
could recite North Korean radar telemetry data from 1993 in 2000 at a conference about advances in radar technology. This kid's like just reciting radar data. And he made it to SES in 5 years.
Wow.
And they had hopes for him. And then all of a sudden he's shuffled to this back desk in a back office.
Because he didn't want to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. Boy Wonder's a good dude. He's a really good. God, is he smart. It's you
Can you
stand
get
in the room with him and you feel like an idiot. You're like,
Can you get a hold of him?
I can try.
Because he might have information that's not floating around on the internet.
Yeah, he doesn't really talk a lot.
Well, we could black the
I'll see.
screen
I'll see.
and like, you know,
I'll see.
hint his
I'll
voice
see
or
if I
whatever.
can find Boy Wonder. I know where he is. I'll see if he'll talk.
All right.
Applicants to SES positions must demonstrate they possess executive core qualifications. These ECQs define the competencies needed to build a corporate culture within the Department of Labor that strives. The Department of Labor, that's awfully communist, that strives for results, serves customers, and builds successful teams and coalitions both within and outside the department. What a fascinating description. So these SES, basically what they're saying is they run the day-to-day government, which means your elected officials are not running the day-to-day government. These appointed SES with their ECQs are running the government. And you just heard me say if you don't play ball, you get shuffled to the back of the bus.
Yep. Unfortunately, that is true.
The crazy thing is, all I did was type into the Googleator what the SES does, U.S. government. First line, Wikipedia, Senior Executive Service. Okay, that's innocuous. U.S. Department of Labor, Senior Executive Service. Okay. Office of Professional Management, OPM, Guide to the Senior Executive Service. USA Jobs, SES slots. Department of Energy, the Senior Executive Services. Department Partnership for Public Service, Senior Executive Services. U.S. Department of Commerce, Senior Executive Services. Defense Contract Audit Agency. I bet there's no money to be made there at all. Defense Contract Audit Agency, Senior Executive Services. And on. They run everything, and they all report to a centralized, one distinct personnel system in which the same executive qualifications are required for all members. They run every branch of the government. We wanted to know who's got the football.
That's them.
Senior Executive Services and Defense Department would be my guess.
Wow.
National Security Council, I have to look into it. I would bet that despite the fact that that's supposed to be appointees and cabinet members and 4-star military types, I would bet you that the SES run the day-to-day operations for the National Security Council. That's the organization, by the way, that briefs the president every morning.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Okay. So basically, the SES is like a bureaucratic army.
Yes.
All right. That's basically trained and conditioned and held to a standard that exists outside the country.
Yes.
So it's, logic to connect that the SES dudes are talking to the WF and the SES of the globalists.
Yes.
All right. I'm wondering if there's SES in all of the other countries as well.
I know there are in Korea.
I'm just wondering, do we have
I'm just
SES,
certain of it.
Senior Executive Services in France,
Yeah.
England?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have that? Because that is,
I do not have that information, but I will bet it is so. They will require people who cannot be unelected or fired
correct.
without cause.
Yeah. So if you ever wondered who's actually pulling the strings, it's the SES, and they're taking the orders from the WEF, in my opinion.
That is exactly what I think. Now, I was in at a high enough level that I had contact with a lot of these people. Like I said, Boy Wonder that I talked about a minute ago. I worked around a lot of GSs. I worked around a couple of SESs. The unit that I was in, there are only 5 of them in the United States organization, military organization. Each of the 5 is run by an SES.
Uh-huh.
So we had our own SES.
Well, I'm going to be honest. We need to probably get rid of these guys. They
like-
need to be fired, in my opinion. Because
Probably
listen,
need something a little more tree-shaped with some flexible hemp.
yeah, well, I'm just saying that this is basically they've infiltrated the entire government from the top down, bottom up, and every layer in between.
Yes.
And I bet you you have SES here running the state of Michigan as well. This shit needs to get fucking brought out into the public and quashed.
I know for fact that at least in the state of Michigan and probably in all 50 states, there are organizations similar to the SES within the state government. We have a Bureau of Elections, for example, here in the state of Michigan, with a guy running it who is just there.
Yeah, the walking moron.
And he's just put there. It doesn't say how he got hired or any of that.
Yeah,
He's just there.
kind of like Kamala.
A little bit like that.
Yeah,
But we know how she got there.
yeah. She's probably doing a little bit of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Totally understand.
At any rate, we started this to find out. I mean, we know that Jill's got her old job of babysitter back. Mm-hmm. And she's wiping up drool and putting diapers in the diaper dumpster by the front door. Probably has a nurse to actually do the ass wiping, but
Listen, if for some reason Trump is able to get elected,
yeah.
it's going to be an uphill battle to clean this up.
The time around January 6th where we were working with that security detail, one of the things some of the guys said who had a couple of particular principles, the staff at the White House was deciding who got to go anywhere near POTUS at all. Mm-hmm. And he had no say in the matter. The staff inside the White House was literally controlling anybody who spoke to him, anybody who saw him, anybody who was able to communicate with him in any way. There was a rumor that they actually took his BlackBerry away at one point.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, yeah, this is, you want to know who's running the show? Here you go.
Yep.
Here you go. This is the bottom of the rabbit hole for who's running the show. The problem is you get to the bottom of this rabbit hole and it's got a million little branches at the bottom.
I wonder if we can map this. The SES. The chain
I
of
could
command.
map it.
I wonder if we can do the chain of command for the SES.
I could probably figure it out.
Yeah, but it'd take a while.
It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And it's going to take.
You got a job. You got enough plates in there.
I know. This is a
This is
a
like
job.
a 3-week thing.
I would have to take off
3 weeks.
probably 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
I operate at a higher level with this stuff.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it would take
I
me
operate
weeks.
I operate at a much higher level with that stuff because that was like part of the job.
I gotcha. I wonder if you can contact anyone from that one group to help you out, because this
I'll
is
try.
this is actually very important.
I'll see if I can summon any of the old analysts. That particular cell that we had doing intelligence for us was really good, but a lot of it is scattered to the wind because it's been 3 years.
Well, unscatter 'em.
Going on 4 years.
I gotcha.
Going on 4 years. I'll try, but
And listen, I would love to have those people as working in the background for this show.
yeah.
So if they're scattered to the four winds and they need to fall under a pyramid, they could fall into this, because I mean, we're just telling the truth here.
I'll see if I can find at least Stronzo.
Okay.
Stronzo means asshole in Italian, by the way.
Oh, really?
He thinks it's very funny. He was really talented. All of the Antifa we were picking off, all of their that was him.
Oh,
He has a real knack for getting into their shit.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, if we can get a hold of these guys and
I'll try.
bring them to the round table.
I'll try. Yeah.
All right.
I'll definitely give that a try. Your country is not yours anymore. We don't have elected officials anymore. We clearly don't have a president anymore, and our vice president is only interested in her next pair of Gucci knee pads. This applies to the state levels. This applies to the whole kit and caboodle. We are being run by a bunch of petty little bureaucrats who are not elected and are selected by their peers, which means you also must be a communist to get in there. And they are going to proceed to, in my opinion, their next move will be to dismantle those pieces of the Constitution which stand between them and starving.
Absolute domination. Correct.
Yeah. I think absolute domination is next.
Yeah. I gotcha.
And I think we're looking at probably, I don't mean to black pill so heavily, but we're going to start seeing some of this stuff in the next 6 months.
Yep. I think so too.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.